I noticed his hand before anything else. Steady, intentional, rehearsed. He assumed no one was paying attention. But I was. From across the room, beneath the warm flicker of gold lights and the dull hum of celebration, I watched my father tip a small silver packet over my glass. The powder vanished instantly. The champagne fizzed, glimmered, then settled as though untouched. Smiles all around, cameras going off, my name floating through the air like a quiet anthem of pride. Yet in that single subtle motion, my father's betrayal blazed louder than all of it. I didn't react, didn't look away. I smiled. Back then, I still believed in the man he used to be. He once called me his prodigy, said I shared his mind, his ambition. When I was accepted into law school, he cried, told me I'd surpass anything he'd ever accomplished. And for a while, I believed that too. But after my mother left, something in him shifted. He remarried quickly. Too quickly. My stepmother came with a daughter, Lena. Pretty, polished, soft-spoken, the kind of girl people adored instantly. My father began calling her sweetheart. Stopped calling me anything. At first, it was small things. Fewer texts. Canceled plans. Then came the accidental rerouting of my tuition money into Lena's new boutique venture. The hushed phone calls I wasn't meant to catch. She doesn't need it. She'll be fine. And I did get by without him without them. But that night, my graduation night, he invited everyone. As if he wanted to rewrite the story, pretend I was still his shining triumph. He wore the same watch he used to check my curfew with, the one whose face glinted in the light as he slipped the powder into my drink. That's when everything locked into place. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a one-time lapse. He'd done it before. My mother's hospital visit that winter, the dizziness, the fogginess, the odd reaction, the doctor's note. Mild poisoning, likely a sedative. She chalked it up to stress. I blamed coincidence. But staring down at the bubbling champagne, I understood it had never been stress. It had been him. Whether for control or silence, or to shield something too fragile to withstand the truth, I didn't know yet. But I intended to. So I stayed composed. I didn't accuse him. Didn't raise my voice. I simply played along. When he lifted his glass and said, "To my brilliant daughter," I gave him a smile sharp enough to hide blades. Then I rose. My heels clicked against the marble. Heads turned. I raised my glass. I said, "To the ones who raise us, and the ones who show us who they truly are." He didn't notice how subtly I angled the drink toward Lena. She giggled this light, airy sound and took it from my hand. "You're always so poetic," she teased. And she drank every drop. Applause erupted. My father clapped too, oblivious. I waited. It didn't take long. 10 minutes, maybe less. She faltered first, just a tiny wobble people mistook for being tipsy. Then the confusion, the glassy stare, the delicate collapse. Laughter froze mid-air. Music died. And in that perfect stillness, I looked straight at him. He knew. God, he knew. His face drained as quickly as hers. His eyes flicked to the empty glass, then to me. For a second, I saw it, the same quick calculation I once admired. He was sorting through excuses, fabrications, possible exits. But I was quicker. She drank from my glass, I murmured, just loud enough for the room around us. I tried to stop her. Chaos crashed over us. Someone called for help. My stepmother screamed. I stood steady, composed, watching the man who taught me strategy gag on the taste of his own. Police arrived. Statements were taken. Toxicology reports came next. The substance, unprescribed sedatives mixed with champagne. Enough to incapacitate, not kill, but enough to spark questions about intent, about patterns, about what happened to my mother. My father denied everything, of course, but he couldn't explain why the same compound appeared in both medical reports, my mother's and Lena's. He couldn't explain why bottles of it sat in his desk drawer labeled stress relief. He couldn't explain me, how I had already collected evidence, quietly, months earlier. How I had recorded him in that soft, careless voice he used with his insurance advisor. If she's declared unfit, the fund transfers automatically. She meant me. He wanted control of the inheritance my mother left in my name. But he miscalculated one thing. Every trick I knew I learned from him. By the time the police finished questioning, his reputation was dust. Lena survived, barely. She remembers nothing. My stepmother left him in a spectacular public scene. He pled guilty to a reduced charge, reckless endangerment, but the real damage was done in the court of public opinion. That's where I buried him. The murmurs, the interviews, the timed leaks. His company dropped him. His name turned toxic. And I never had to lift another finger after that night. People sometimes ask whether I feel guilty. I don't. I didn't poison anyone. I never raised my voice. I simply let him swallow what he had prepared for me. And poison, after all, always finds its way home. That night beneath the golden lights, with his empire crumbling before him, I finally understood him. The precision, the manipulation, the need for control. Except, unlike him, I knew when to stop. I lifted a fresh glass and whispered to no one in particular. To family, the ones who build us and the ones who dismantle themselves. Then I drank, and I smiled.